So my thoughts on the Klopp resignation. First of all, what a great way to leave for Klopp. Like, on the high. Got us a Premier League title that Liverpool has been dying for. Won pretty much every trophy. I mean, this guy needs to be awarded and accoladed when he leaves in the highest way that we can possibly, respect and grant this man for what he's done for the club, for the fans, turning doubters into believers and all that stuff. I really think at this point, you're going to see FSG in its real form. I do think Klopp is telling the truth. I do 100%. I think he's tired. He looked tired. I know me and Darren have definitely talked about how in some of his press conferences he looks tired and worn out. I've noticed that. I mean, he's putting up with the English media. He snapped at him heaps of times. And you can tell that it was getting to him. And it's probably other reasons. I think there's a lot of reasons, but like a lot of little reasons. The VAR, Manchester City and having to build a team and do all that. I definitely do believe all that is legit. I mean, continuously pressurized to keep this club at the top. It's gonna warn you out. The expectations that he made for himself. He made the club successful and thereby, by default, brought on a whole list of expectations for us to be at the top now. And we're in the same predicament as Manchester United when they got rid of Ferguson. Now, when Klopp first moved in, we weren't very good. We were 8th. Right? We weren't. It wasn't even his first season. It wasn't glamorous, but you could see the improvements almost instantly. He took Liverpool over. He transformed them within 3 seasons. Definitely 2 seasons. You could see it. You could see it. And you could see it from day one. And so, 100%, he's going to be a big loss to this football club. But we're in the same predicament that we were when Man United got rid of Ferguson. Because now, when Klopp came in, the expectations was, hey, we just need to improve and to build a team and at least challenge for the title. Like, no one said that if he doesn't win the title in the first 2 or 3 seasons, he's going to be sacked. As long as there was continuous improvement, that's what they were clearly looking for. As you do, right? You want a manager to come in, you want to see the improvement. There's never the expectation that we had to go off and achieve what we achieved with the club. I don't think anyone saw that. So now whoever comes in, he's got that big expectation. And it's very difficult and very different situation to come into a club with little expectation compared to what there will be for whoever the next manager is. And we're going to do a podcast at some stage on, Xabi Alonso talks. Is there anyone? Is there actually anyone out there that can repeat or can come in and improve Liverpool further? Especially under Liverpool's current climate, strict transfer budget and all the rest of it. But one thing I know for sure, and I have not been a fan of FSG, I will be a believer in FSG if they can find a manager to come in and keep the club going. Because that's what it would take for me to at least respect FSG for wanting the best interest of the club because the best interest of the club, right? So whatever that means. But the point is it's going to be a really hard task. I think Klopp is left for multiple reasons. I think it's a bit strange that he signed a contract extension to 26 and he's left 2 years before that. Obviously, there would be clauses and things in the contract to say, look, if I want to leave at the end of the season, I'm not going to coach or be another club for a certain amount of time. I think he's clearly not going to manage another English club. He wouldn't do that. What's the point? He might as well stay at Liverpool. Why would he? Where's he going to go? What is he going to do? He's going to ruin a legacy. Is he going to end up at international level? Possibly. But I think it's going to be a while, maybe at least 6 to 12 months before you see Jurgen Klopp managing him. I mean, if he's tired, then he needs a break then, clearly. But I also think he's tired for other reasons, not just physically and mentally tired, but I also think he's tired of the constant issues with FSG. Like, yes, did they reinvest in the team? Sure. But we got rid of a lot of players. We got a lot of money come in from transfers, from end of year, the club earnings. The club reinvests what it makes. And I think Klopp's seen the writing on the wall that this is going to be a continuous, endless battle. Endless battle keeps us up because the club just doesn't compete financially. And compared to Man City, that we have been overachieving. I don't think there's any doubt about it. We have been overachieving with Klopp and his staff. And I think you're really going to see FSG for what they are when this new manager comes in. I want to be wrong. I definitely want to be wrong. I want the manager to come in and blow Jurgen Klopp's legacy out the water, because that's what I want for the club. I want him to come in. He's got all. I mean, what I don't understand is he's going to come into a team that's been rebuilt for a manager that is going to need time to rebuild his own team. I mean, what happens if he doesn't like, which I doubt it, but what happens if he doesn't like Szoboszlai? Or he doesn't like McAllister? Or he doesn't like, I don't know, he doesn't like Nunes? Or certainly might not like Gapco. Gapco plays a certain way. We've got all these players that it's going to be difficult now to sell off and get good money for them because it's so early in there that you've rebuilt a team with a stretched budget, and you know it's going to be ridiculously crazy for any new manager to come in and be like, hey, yeah, I kind of don't like this play. This is not how we play. These players are Klopp's players. So while I appreciate Klopp staying and the club extending his contract, because at the time I thought, great, and I knew when he signed, he's not staying past 26. I knew that for sure. But I never pictured that he probably would leave now, sign a contract extension, and leave 2 years before it expires. No, I kind of didn't see that. And I woke up this morning, and the first thing I check on my phone is some quote about Klopp leaving from some random source. I'm like, no way. Well, but at the same time, no one would write that, even if it's a crappy Facebook page. I knew there's something to this. And he's looked terribly. He does look exhausted. But who wouldn't, under the continuous pressure, high achieving pressure of managing Liverpool, and now, you know, with FSG and all the other issues. So for me, it makes sense for him to be leaving, even though, for me, to start rebuilding 2.0 for another is great if he was going to be there for 2.0, because now he's built 2.0, but the next manager may not play his way. So FSG isn't going to be like, oh yeah, give it all these players shot to a new manager. No chance. So the manager that is going to come in, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have these conversations, is he's going to be someone that is like, yes, I can get success with these current players. So first of all, they're going to have to find a manager who is going to have the guile and the technical bravado and the skills to come in and be able to manage the new expectations and where the club is in 2024 compared to 2015, as well as being able to manage these group of players under his tactical decisions and style of play. Because you cannot underestimate the leadership of Klopp that he would have in that dressing room and has in that football club. Everybody, it's like the same thing I said to my brother who's a Manchester United fan when Ferguson left. He's going to leave a void too big to fill, especially in the short term. But not even I envisioned Man United would crash as much as they have. I thought it'd be 5-6 years and then probably we'll start challenging for the title again. And I think we're in the same problem. And you've got to bring in a new manager that's got to build up his respect in the club. He's got to carry the same. Everyone's going to be expecting someone to come in and be a Klopp and to be a leader. As much as we all know, the next manager, we don't want to be a Klopp, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's going to make comparisons. you are going to make comparisons. The media is going to make comparisons. There's going to get questions about, when Jurgen Klopp was here, blah 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 blah. You're doing blah 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 blah. It's a club where if you go up, you're going to be amazing, but you can quickly going to go down. And you saw what Man United done for continuous managers. Now, I don't believe FSG is going to go down that way. But Klopp's only told FSG apparently in November. And they've got till the end of the season to find a manager capable of doing all that. Look, if they pull it off, they've got my respect. But I doubt it. And I think it's going to be a painful transition again. I hope it's not. I hope I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. But historically, Liverpool's had a lot of worse managers in the last 20 years than good ones. Now, the good ones, Klopp, Benitez, to some regard, maybe Rodgers, but it hasn't. I mean, people talk about Julio. Yeah, I mean, I understand all that, but they were lucky too. I mean, not lucky in one sense, but no one's been able to come in and transform the club since Paisley and Shankly like Klopp has. To me, there's Paisley, there's Shankly, and then there's Klopp. There's no Benitez, there's no Rodgers, there's no Gerard Julio. There's just not, in my opinion, right? There's Paisley, Shankly, Klopp. And for what Klopp did over the 8 years, it's not just understanding football, it's player management, it's media management, it's leadership, it's a self-belief that I just don't think you're going to be able to find by the end of the season, number one. You've got to find, and Xabi Alonso is fantastic, but he's walking into our club now. And look, the FSG model is young and upcoming. And that's what I brought in Klopp. Young and upcoming. Young and upcoming is the FSG model. So we know it's going to be like Alonso. I don't see them rushing out and getting a Mourinho. I don't see them going out and getting a Big Sam. Imagine that. Big Sam Allardyce. Jeez, Big Sam Allardyce. Could you imagine that? I don't want to imagine that. I don't think anyone wants to imagine that. It's almost like watching your parents kiss. You just don't even want to think about it. You don't want to see it. So for me, sorry guys, I'm still getting over a cold. For me, it's going to be an enormous task. And if FSG wants to get me and many doubters in FSG back on side, is being able to pull this off. This will be their hardest acquisition that they have to do in their entire tenure at Liverpool. Because and I think they're going to be exposed. And I hope I'm wrong. I want them to turn around and say, young idiot over the shoulder, does he know? Good. That's fantastic. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. I want the club to go prosper and for me to be having a good on my face. That will make me very happy. Because all I care about is this club succeeding, not me gaining points and saying, I told you so on a podcast. So, do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't, because I think it's not very easy to do. I mean, United have more money than we do, and arguably they were at a bigger status in their club, potentially when Ferguson lost them, well, even we are now as Liverpool, and they couldn't find a manager to do it. Now, you can say that United's got all problems in the backroom staff. And look, I get all that. I absolutely get all that. But do I think that it's going to be even possible to find a manager to come in? Like, everyone talks about Alonso, but I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. We're still going to digest what's happening this season. We've got many trophies to play. Klopp still looks like, there was nothing indicating on the sidelines other than just him being tired. And that I thought for the last few years, but I thought he was going to see out the contract. I certainly thought next season would probably be his last. But I didn't think it would be this season. But anyway, I digress. We've got 4 trophies to play. He's going to want to bring it all home. 100%. He's going to want to leave us with a parting gift because that's the guy he is. He wants to do it for himself. He wants to do it for the fans. He wants to do it for the players. And as much as that success we all want, imagine the expectations then. Where that's the season where we won a quadruple, or we won the treble, or even if we just win the Premier League and that's it, just win the Premier League. The expectations of that next manager has just gone up 10x. It's just gone up, and it's great for us. We want all the success this season, absolutely, 4 trophies. But do you really realise these might be the last 4 trophies for a long, long time? So we might as well grab them, yeah? Because it's just going to make this job incredibly difficult in a team that is starting to learn to play together. I mean, you got the Diaz's, you got the Nunez's, you got the Gatpos, you got the Jotters, you've got Soboslai, McAllister, Endo, you got a whole new midfield. And this January, I was actually going to do a podcast about Liverpool's lack of ambition to sign a new defensive midfielder. But this news has completely overwritten all of that, so it is what it is. And we're not going to sign anyone in January. That's for sure. There's not even one realistically linked. Inacio, yeah, well, there was a lot of players that are linked. And I'm sick and tired. Don't even get me started on the Mbappe links. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But that's what I'll leave with you. Do you think Liverpool's FSG in particular are going to be able to pull off by the end of the season another Klopp, pull off another manager who can handle the expectations, the new 2.0 team, and be able to work with them and take them even further than what Klopp has? I don't know, but it'd be interesting to hear the internet's thoughts, because I like my thoughts challenged. And everyone's going to be positive. I want real, like, what's the strategy? Not just, be positive. Like, that's not a strategy, right? What is the path forward? Like, what is the, how do we tackle this? And that's what I'm really interested to get in the comments. That's what I'm really interested to read about, because that's what I don't know. Because Liverpool's definitely going to go young and upcoming manager. But what's the strategy beyond that? What do we do? We've got a club that's always going to be financially inferior compared to Man City's, Chelsea's, probably even Newcastle's, Man United's, and maybe even Arsenal. So there's at least 5 clubs that we're financially inferior to, riding on a very good badge, a very big reputation. We've always done things right as a football club. We're just a good club. How can anyone not even appreciate what Liverpool's done for the entire football world? But what's next? What's the strategy after Klopp? Who's the profile of manager? What's the strategy of players? How does the next manager deal with the current players, where he's going to be somewhat strapped financially? He might be able to bring in one player. I guarantee you, the next manager that comes in ain't going to be a lot of transfers. There's going to be one player come in if he's lucky. I'll be blown away if there's 2. So the start of the season, so you bring him in, you got to bring him in. I mean, for me, you're bringing him in really early. Like day one, like as soon as, like let's say the Premier League finishes on the 4th of the 10th of May, or I don't know when it finishes, like around that May. It finishes, the guy literally walks through the door the next day. That's it. Bye, Jurgen. Big celebration. Adios, amigo. No. This guy's got to get to work literally from minute 1. What does he do? What does he do with a club that you know he's not going to spend money? Huge accountability and responsibility and pressure and just enormous expectations. What does he do in the first year to make the fans think, whew, we got away with it again? And the transition's going to be okay, because I can tell you why there's going to be a lot of nervous fans. There's going to be a lot of pressure. The media is going to be on his back. The club is he's at a point where it's at the highest. So it's good for Klopp to walk out. It ain't going to be very easy. And he can talk about how, give the manager time. And well, Ferguson said all the same bullshit. And at the end of the day, the pressure comes in, the expectations are there, and that's all that matters. And that's what I want to hear. What does the next manager do other than the obvious win? Like, I'm talking about good critical thinking here. What does he do? How does he go about it? How does he manage expectations? How does he win the fans on our side? What does he do? What does he do? What does he do in his own way to what does he do with transfers? What does he do with, obviously he's going to bring in his own staff. How does he handle the media, the questions, and the entire expectation of this football club? I'll leave that with you.